Okay, good morning, students. So in the last class, we have seen some load and store instructions for the multiple. No? So today I will explain you about some stack instructions. Okay. So internally, the ARM does not consist of any stack. Okay. So by using the software, by using the instructions, we can use uh, uh, this stack operations. Okay. So these are the stack instructions. Stack multiple FD, that means full descending. FD is nothing but full descending. Stack multiple full ascending. Stack multiple uh, empty descending, and stack multiple empty ascending. Okay, these are the instructions. The four instructions we are going in the stack instructions. Okay, so as you know that R13 is nothing but the stack pointer. So so within the instruction we can use this R13. Okay, so during the moment of content of the register to memory location, or from the memory location to the register, we can use this R13 as a stack pointer. Okay, so this stack pointer is present in all the modes. Suppose if you see the user mode, FIQ, IRQ, supervisory, undefined, and abort mode, in all the modes you can find this stack pointer. Okay, so if you see this one, stack operation, so this is empty stack. Suppose if you want to push some 8 value into the stack, so you can use this push operation, push 8, and one more number if you want to push, like 14. If you want to push, you can use this push 14. Okay, and next uh, if you want to, like so if you want to push one more value, that is 12, so you can use 12. Okay, so for pushing you can use this instruction, like push 8. So we already seen in the processor or a controller. Suppose if you want to pop that value, if you want to take out from that stack, so what you need to do, so you can use pop 12. Okay, so stack is nothing but this is a last in first out. Whatever the value you are pushing last, that will be taken out first. Okay, so in this example you pushed 12 value at the last. Okay, so whatever this 12 value is there, you can take out first. Okay, so here pop 12, so 12 is taken out and it will be replaced in the register. And pop 14 is nothing but you are taking the value 14 and it will be keep in some register. Again you can do push operation, push 6. Okay, so you can do two operations, push 6 and push 8. Okay, so this material I took from this website. Okay, so if you see, to implement the stack, so what you need to do, so what is a stack? So it is nothing but it is one type of memory. So before implementing, before developing the stack, they use this memory as garbage for storing the garbage values. So after that, this came into picture. This stack can be used for function concept. That means we can store whatever the return address into the stack. Okay. So here the area of memory to store the data. And so what is stack? Stack is nothing but this is an area of memory to store the data items. Okay. You have a register that is nothing but stack pointer, so which will point to the top of the stack. Okay, so stack growth convention, so that means when you are pushing the value into the stack pointer will be decremented. When you are taking, that means when you are doing the pop operation, stack pointer will be incremented. Okay, so you know that well defined instructions, those are push and pop. Okay, so you have ascending stack. So what is ascending? Ascending means stack will grow up. Okay, so that means where it will start, it will start from the lower memory address, and items are pushed into it. Okay, so it will be progress up to higher memory address. Okay, so that means so that is nothing but ascending stack. So it will, so we can so stack will grow up. Okay, so it will start from lower memory address, and so while you are pushing the data into the stack, what happens, so it will be progress towards the higher memory address. Okay, descending stack means what, it will grow downward. Okay, so it will start from the higher memory, and while you are pushing, it will come to the lower memory. Okay, so that is nothing but descending and ascending and descending. And next you have empty stack. Okay, so empty stack is nothing but whatever our stack pointer is there, it will point to the empty location. Okay, so that means it will point to the next free empty location. So next free empty location, So that is nothing but we call as the empty stack. So so that means it will be so while the items are pushed into the stack, so wherever after the last item is pushed, after that there will be empty space. So in that empty space, the stack pointer will be pointed. Okay, that is nothing but empty stack. Full stack is nothing but it will be point to the top of the stack, uh, top of the item stack. So that means all the items will be filled. So the stack pointer will be point to the top of the stack. Okay, that is nothing but full stack. Okay, so these are the ascending stack, descending stack, empty stack, and full stack. Okay, so see here, so you can see like descending. So descending means what? As I told you, so when you are pushing some values into the stack, so the memory, the stack pointer will be incremented from lower address to the higher address. Okay, if it is descending means what? When you are pushing the values into the stack, it will be that means it will be decremented from higher address to the lower address. That is nothing but descending. Empty stack means what? Empty stack means here. Uh, so here some values are there. Suppose some values are there from 0, 0, 0, 1, and 0, 3. So empty stack will be pointed to which location? 0, 4. So that means here the memory location is 0. Okay, empty is there. So that means the stack pointer is pointed to this location. Okay, so that we call as the empty stack. And full stack means three values. The stack is full. So here the stack pointer is pointed to the address location like 0, 2. Okay, like this. Okay, so that is nothing but, so see here, empty stack is nothing but 0, 4. So here the memory location is empty. Okay, so that means the stack pointer will be pointed to the memory location after whatever the data you are storing into the stack. Okay, so this is empty stack. And the full stack means what? Here you push the three values into this uh, stack element. Okay, so the stack pointer which is pointing to the top of the stack is nothing but the full stack. Okay, so this is about this. Okay, so so you can see that full ascending. Okay, full ascending means what? So the memories will be pushed into the stack, the data values will be pushed into the stack. So when the data values are pushed into the stack, what happens to the memory? It will be increased. The address will be increased. Okay. Full descending means, so when the whatever the data values are pushed into the stack, the address will be decreased. Okay. So empty ascending means here this stack pointer is pointing to empty value of the memory location, and empty descending means what? So here the memory will be increased. The address, memory address will be increased. Okay. In the empty descending, what happens? While the data values are pushed into the stack, so the memory address will be decreased. Okay, so when the memory values will be decreased, so that the stack pointer will be pointed to downwards, towards downwards of empty memory location. Okay, so this is uh, about the full ascending, full descending, empty ascending, and empty descending. Okay, so as I told you, ARM does not support any hardware stack. That means inbuilt in the ARM, so you does not have the stack. Okay, so if you consider some controllers, you have the inbuilt stack over there, but in the ARM doesn't have the inbuilt stack. Okay, so we can implement the stack operation. That means we can implement the stack operation by using the software means. Okay, by using which instruction means you can use the LDM, load multiple, and STM, store multiple. So load multiple means you are moving some multiple values from the memory location into the into some multiple registers. Okay, so STM means nothing but store multiple. Store multiple means you are storing some content of multiple values in the register to the memory location. Okay, so by using these two instructions we can implement the stack operation. Okay, so load store multiple instructions can update the base register. Okay, so so here in the stack operation, so that means it will update the base register. Means during stack operation, what is the base register we are using? We are using the stack pointer as a base register. So every time, so if you see here, if we are doing some full ascending, full descending, empty ascending, and empty descending, So every time the stack pointer, so stack pointer is nothing but the base register. This will be updated. Okay. So depending on my operation. Okay. So here the same for the stack pointer operation, the base register is usually the stack pointer. So during the load store multiple instructions, it can update the base register. Base register means stack operation, stack pointer. We need to remember that. Okay. So that means this means we need to implement these instructions by using push and pop. Okay, push and pop operation for any number of registers in a single instruction. So that means uh, so basically STM is nothing but the push operation. So that means you are storing the content of the register into the memory location. So that means we can relate this STM with push operation, and LDM is nothing but pop operation. So LDM is nothing but you are taking some data values from the memory location into the register. So that's why we can call this as a pop operation. Okay. So here you can see this is STM. So STM means what I told. You can move uh, you can move some content of group of registers, store multiple group of registers, uh, uh, group of content of registers. That means content of the data which are present in the group of registers from the registers to the memory location. Okay. So here store multiple and increment of IA is nothing but increment of operate increment after. Okay. So IA will decides the mode of the operation, and R naught is nothing but the base register. Okay. R naught is acting as a stack pointer. Okay. So R1 to R3. So R1 to R3 means whatever the content present in the register R1, R2, R3, you are moving into the address location which is pointed by R0. Okay. So here what happens? First, the register is stored at base address. So first, whatever the content of R1 is there, that will be stored in the base address. Okay. Second register is stored in base address plus 4. Okay. So why? Because base address plus 4 means why it is plus 4 means you are moving 32 bit of data. Okay. So that's why it is a plus 4. Okay. So hexadecimal value. So 32 bit means 8 4 how much? 32. Okay. So that means in each memory location we can store 8 bits of data. That is nothing but 1 byte. Okay. So how many bytes you can store? 32 bits means 4 bytes you can store. 8 4 how much? 32 bits. Okay. So third register. So our third register is that is R3, that will be stored in the base address plus 8. Okay. So the content of the register will not change in the increment after. Okay. After performing this operation, the content will not change. R naught remains the same base address. Okay. So here you can see the example. So initially the R naught will be pointing to 0xA 100 and 1000. Okay. Now what you are doing, you are moving the content of R1 to R3 to this location. So 1000, 1004 and 1008. Okay. So first what you will do, you are moving the content of R1 to 1000. Okay. And again R2 to 1004 and R3 to 1008. Okay. Now base register will not update. So that means R0 will not update. So now R0 will be in the same uh, same thing. Okay. So this is the same. It will be in the same address location. Okay. So this is store multiple, decrement before. Okay. Decrement before means what? So here the R0 will start from 1010. Okay. So here you need to remember that when you are doing decrement before, first R7 will be stored first. That means higher order register will be stored first. That means here if you see, initially the R0 is pointing to 0xA 100 1010. Okay. So this is 32 bit one word length. Okay. So uh, what happens in this? So first of all, you are adding decrement before. That means before storing that value, it will be decremented. So that means when you decrement 1010 with the 4, you are getting this address 100C. Okay. After decrementing, this R7 value will be stored in this memory location. After that, you are decrementing the memory location. So that means 12 minus 8 is 12 minus 4 is 8. So the address is 1008. Okay, you can see only these addresses are same. Only you have to concentrate on last 4 bits. 1008 address of the last 4 bits. So R6 is moved into this location, and after that the memory is decremented. So 8 minus 4. So that means the next address is 1004. Okay, so R5 will be stored, and 1004 minus 4, you are getting 1000, and R2 will be stored. Okay, so as I told you, decrement in the decrement, the memory will start from the higher address and the memory will be gradually decreases. So that means here, if you observe, the memory starts from 1010, it gradually decreases, and so in this decreased memory location, you are storing higher order register first and remaining registers next. Okay, but the base register will not change. Okay? There will be no update in the base register. Base register will be point to the same location in the before initialization of that address. Okay, so this is nothing but decrement before, and here decrement before stack pointer, if you are replacing with exclamatory, means stack pointer, whatever the stack pointer is there, that will be updated. Okay, so see here, stack pointer is nothing but, as I told you, in our ARM, R13 is nothing but you are using R13 as a stack pointer. Okay, so here if you see, so the base address, whatever our stack pointer or R13 is there, that will be pointing to the address location 0xA 100 and 1010. Okay, 1010. Now what you are doing, first you are decrementing before. So that means 10 minus 10 is actually 16 if you are converting into decimal, and C is what, 12. Okay, 12 minus, so that means 16 minus 4 is how much, 12. So you are getting C. Okay, so that means you are getting 100C. So first you are moving R3. Okay, and next you are decrementing C with 4. C minus 4 means you are getting 8. So next you are moving R2, and next so again R minus 8 minus 4, you are getting 4. So 1004. Here you are moving R1 to the address location 1004. So what happens in the previous instruction, the base register is not updating. Okay, base register will be in the same. So whatever the initial state of the address location is there, the base register R0 will be in the same address location. But if you see here, whatever our base register is there, that will be updated. See here. So after performing this push out, this is same as push operation. So base register, initially the base register is 1010. So after this instruction, the base register is updated with 1004. Okay, so you need to remember that this is exclamatory mark represent that it updates the base register. Okay, so to make the easier for the programmer, stack oriented suffix can be used instead of increment or decrement. So see here, so that means if it is a full descending, so FD is nothing but full descending stack, that is nothing but decrement before. So that means FD means designer will understand that FD means this is stack related operation. So that is nothing but full descending stack, that is equivalent to what, decrement before. Full ascending is nothing but full ascending stack. Okay, that is nothing but increment before. Okay, empty descending means decrement after. Empty descending stack is nothing but decrement after, and empty ascending is nothing but increment after. Okay, so that means designer will understand when he is doing the programming, designing will understand that full descending is nothing but a decrement before. Okay, so here if you see, full descending means, you know that full descending means a decrement before, no? So you can use this STM full descending or STM DB. Okay, store multiple decrement before or store multiple full descending. Okay, so this is same as push operation. So for this you have load multiple full descending or load multiple increment after. So this is pop operation. Okay, and similarly full ascending. So full ascending is nothing but STMFA. You can use the STM increment before. Okay, or load multiple full ascending. You can use the load multiple descending after. Okay, decrement after. Okay, same thing. Empty descending is nothing but store multiple empty descending. This is same as store multiple decrement after. LDM is nothing but load multiple empty descending. This is same as load multiple increment before. So So this is same as store is nothing but push operation, and load is nothing but pop operation. Similarly, empty descending is there. Empty descending means store multiple empty descending. Descending. This is stack related operation. So we can call this as a store multiple increment after. Both are same. Okay, it will do the same operation. Load multiple empty ascending. So load multiple decrement before. Okay. So these are some stack related instructions. Okay. So see here. So if you see STM store multiple full descending. Okay. SP is updated. SP exclamatory R0 to R5. So that means whatever the content present in this register R0 to R5, you are moving into the memory location which is pointed by the stack pointer. Okay. So that means this is nothing but full push on full descending. So as you know that full descending is same as decrement before. So this is nothing but push operation. So you are using decrement before. And LDM FD. So that means load multiple full descending. Stack pointer is updated R0 to R5. So that means whatever the content present in the memory location, you should move into the register. 5 values will be there. 5 values present in the memory location, you should move into the register R0 to R5. Okay, that is nothing but it is same as full descending. That is nothing but full descending. Full descending is same as what? LDMA. So that means load multiple decrement after. Okay. So this is about the stack operation. If you see STM decrement before. Okay. So this is store multiple decrement before. This is push operation. So push operation means what you are doing? You are moving the content of R1, R2, R3 and R5 to the memory location which is pointed by the stack pointer or R13. Okay. So push operation. If it is a pop operation, LDM IA. So that means whatever the content present in the location, in the address location which is pointed by the stack pointer or R13, you are moving into R1 to R3 and R5. Okay. So these are some instructions. STM empty ascending, LDM empty ascending, STM empty descending, load multiple empty descending, store multiple full ascending, load multiple full ascending. So you need to remember load means what? From the register to the memory location. That is same as push operation. And so push data. So pushing the data. Load means what? So from the memory location to the register. So that is nothing but a pop operation. Okay. So this is so suppose if you see STM empty ascending. So empty ascending R13, R0 to R2. So that means here. So whatever the values present in this location. So first R2 is there. This value will be loaded in stored in R2, and this value will be stored in R1, and some value is there. Let us take some value 1, 2, 3, 4. Some value is there. R0 is there, that will be loaded into R0. So this value is there. So after performing this, here exclamatory is there. Exclamatory is not there means the base register will not update. So here exclamatory is there means here increment after. So the stack pointer will be point to 0, 0. Initially stack pointer is where the stack pointer is there, where in 0, 3 the stack pointer is there. Okay. So these are the examples you can see. Store multiple full descending, store multiple empty descending, store multiple full ascending, store multiple empty descending. So if you understand the load store instructions, the stack instructions are multiple load store instructions. So the stack instructions are simple. Okay. So you can relate whatever the stack related instruction with the load instruction. Okay. So next you have software interrupt instructions. So what is an interrupt? Interrupt is nothing but suppose processor is doing some normal operation. You can get the so that means processor can get the interrupt through any IO device like a keyboard or like a timer, a timer counter or serial communication. Okay. So when the interrupt occurs, what happens is whatever the return address or that means program counter address is there, that will be stored in the stack. Okay. Again, it will so the program counter will be counter. So after storing the program counter address into the stack, whatever the program counter is there, that will be loaded with the so that will be going to the vector table. In the vector table, there will be an ISR address. Okay, that means interrupt address will be there. So interrupt address will be loaded into this program counter. So that will go into that address and it will serve that interrupt. Okay. So after performing that interrupt, what happens? Whatever the return address stored in the stack is there, that will be popped into the program counter. So again, it will do the normal operation. So this is a sequence. So here you got the interrupt. So after getting the interrupt, so here the next address is there that will be stored in the stack. It will go into this ISR. ISR is nothing but just a small program. Let us consider some delay program is there. Small program you can consider. So after performing this, there will be a return instruction. So when your return instruction is there, it will come to the main program by taking the return address from the stack, popping the return address from the stack. Okay. So so this software interrupt instructions is enters into supervisory mode. Okay. So it will be normally it will be enter into the supervisory mode. The supervisory mode only this software instruction will be executed. Okay. So so where we can use this supervisory mode, we can use this uh, supervisory mode in uh, exception handler. Okay. So if you see this example, like this is a CPSR. So before the execution of instruction, the CPSR is a small n, Z, C, and capital V is means you have a overflow flag, and Q, I is nothing but interrupt. Okay, F is nothing but fast interrupt, and I is nothing but normal interrupt, and T is nothing but a thumb mode. Either is acting as thumb mode or a arm mode. User is nothing but this is nothing but whether to decide which mode you are using. Okay, which mode you are switching. Okay. Let us consider PC initial value is 0x 40800. Okay, and LR is nothing but R14 link register. Okay, whatever the return address is there, that will be stored in the stack. So here in the ARM you don't have the stack. Okay, so where the return address should be stored? It should be stored. So basically in the microprocessor or microcontroller, it will be stored in the stack. Return address will be stored in the stack. So here you don't have the stack. So here you are using a link register that is nothing but R14 in order to store the return address. Okay, so you are performing this software instruction. So in this address location, software SWI is nothing but this is the opcode and 0x123456. Okay. After performing this instruction, what happens? Initially, this is in user mode. So what the microprocessor will do? It will go from user mode to supervisor mode. So see here, post after performing this instruction, the CPSR will be N Z C capital V I Q. You got the interrupt. So that means normal interrupt. So IE it is indicated with red mark. IE is activated, FT and supervisor. And whatever the content of CPSR, that means CPSR registers present in the user mode are there, it will be stored in the SPSR. Why? Because again when it is coming from the supervisory to the user mode, so the processor should remember the content of the CPSR. Okay, it should remember, it should get the return address from the linked register. Parallelly, it should get the content of the CPSR register which it used previously. Okay, so for that, whatever the content of the CPSR registers are there, that will be stored in which register? SPSR. SPSR is nothing but stored program status register. Stored program status register. So here, if you see, so initially the program counter is this one. So the program counter next address. What is the program counter next address? 8004. That will be stored in the link register, and the program counter will be loaded with whatever the interrupt it want to serve. So that means it will be stored with 0x708. Okay. After performing this, that means after completing the software instruction, software handling instructions. So whatever the return address is there, that means R14 underscore SVC. So that means R14 underscore SVC means the ARM processor will understand that this is in the supervisor mode. So whatever the return address is there, that way again it will be stored in the program code. Okay. So this is how you can implement the software interrupt instruction. Okay, so now, assembly language programming, I will tell you a simple program how to write a program. Okay, uh, so here I'm opening the key. So with this we are completed the instruction set. So this is a Keel software. Okay, so Keel Microvision. So first of all, what you need to do, you need to create a project. Okay, so for this, I'm going to the project, new project. I'm doing simple program and I'm explaining. Okay, so so here already written some programs. So here you should create one folder over here. Okay, so I created the folder ARM program. ARM programs I done so many programs in this ARM. So you can create mm, a program like a basic program. Okay, you keep a folder basic. Okay, so program, basic program. So in this, you need to create a project. So create the same basic, create a project basic program. Okay, so the project name is basic program. Now you save that. Okay, you say that. So initially, uh, so that means in the internet you need to store, you need to uh, install this Keel Microvision file. Okay, but I'm working. I want to work with this ARM7 with LPC 2148. So for that purpose, you need to install one more application, that is nothing but legacy device database. Okay, so legacy device database you need to store. Then only I can see my device. Okay, what is my device? You are using the NXP. So that is nothing but initially that is Philips. Now it is NXP LPC 2148. This is ARM7. Okay, NXP 2148. So this is you can see that these are the features. ARM7 TDMIS based high performance. So 32-bit RISC microcontroller. So this is a 32-bit RISC microcontroller and with thumb extensions. So that means it can be used as a ARM mode and thumb mode. And it is having the 512 kilobytes of on-chip flash ROM with in-system ISP and an application program, 32 kilobytes of RAM. These are the features. So total how many ADC? It is have 10-bit ADC and 14 channels. Okay, and two UARTs, two I2C, two 32-bit timers are there. Okay, real-time clock is there, brownout detection is there, general purpose IOs are there. So what is the clock frequency? It is having the 60 megahertz, and on-chip crystal oscillator is there, on the on-chip PLL is also there. Okay, these are the features. Now press on OK. So if we so it is asking like copy a startup.s. So no need. Okay. Again, the project is creating. So now project is created. Now go. So select one file. Okay. So save that file with like add one or add one dot as. Okay, you are doing some basic. If you are doing C language means you need to store with dot C. If it is a ASM, you need to store with the dot ASM. Okay, so save that file and go to the source group. Right click, add the existing file to the. You need to add that existing file into the source. Okay, add the existing file into the source group. Close. Okay, so before writing the program, I want to say about how to start your program. Okay, so one second. So here if you see, yeah. So if you see here, that means program should start from area. Okay. So area is nothing but this is uh, it is a name that area is given. So that means where you are writing the program. Suppose if you are writing the program in code memory or data memory, so that gives the area, and the name is nothing but name of the program, and you have the attributes. Okay. So so if you see, so here area, suppose if you are writing the program in the that means if you are writing the program in the program memory, let us consider the program memory. You need to give code. Okay, area code. So that means this is an assembler directive. This is one type of assembler directive. Code. So that means code contains machine instruction. So that is the code is by default read only. Okay, the code is read only. That means we can only read the code. Okay, we can't write the code. So that's why area code, name of the file, and read only. Okay, and next, so what is the, so suppose if you are doing with if you want to give the data into the into the program, you need to write read write. Okay, so read only means it indicates the area, this area should not be written to. Okay, we can't write into this. That's why this is read only. Suppose read write means we can change the data. So it indicates this area may be read from or write to. So that we can change the data in the read write. Okay. So so what is the usage of this means? So this use area directive to subdivided your source file into AOF area. Okay, this is basically a assembler directive. Okay. So example, if you see area, example is nothing but name of the program, whatever the name of the program you are writing, code read only. Okay, so that means this is an example of code area. So this is an example of this code area. Like this, first of all you need to initialize. Okay, suppose if you want to initialize some data memory. Okay, area and the name of the code and code read write. So in the place of read only you can write read write, and here you can implement data. Okay, so for the code you have this extension area example code. Example is nothing but whatever the program name of the program you are writing, code read only, and here code is there. Okay, so so here so here so here this is an example. So area example code read only. So this one I am writing the key. Okay, so here I am writing area. So you need to give some space tab. Okay, so you need to give space with the tab. Okay, so here A is capital area. Okay, area. I'm giving the file name add one, comma code. Okay, code comma read only, comma read only. This is read only. We can only read the data into this one. Okay, I'm moving some value, move some r1 comma 0x. 0x represent that is the hexadecimal value. Okay, 0b means binary. Like that you can represent. So 0 0 I'm giving the values 0 0 again 0 0 0 some 2 I'm giving. Okay, and next move some r2 value, r2 comma 0x 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 some 4. Okay, next what I am doing, add r1 comma not r1 r3 comma r1 comma r2. Okay, so here what I am doing, I'm adding the content of r1, and content of r2. So whatever the result I am getting, okay, so I'm storing in which register, r3. I'm storing in r3. Okay, r3 equal to what, r1 plus R2, R1 plus R2, okay, and end. Okay, I written the simple program. So next, what you need to do, you have to build the target. You have to build the target. Okay, some problem with the download. Okay. So that means after executing this program, so whatever the content of the, so whatever this value is there, you are getting into R1, and this 4 is there, that will be getting into R2, and it will add the content of R1 and R2. So that means 2 plus 4. So what you are getting? 2 plus 4 is 6, that you are getting into R3. Okay. So like this, you can do the programming.